My name is Leslie Camacho. I'm the president of EllisLab, and I'm here to tell you how Dungeons & Dragons made me the boss. I first encountered Dungeons & Dragons when I was about 10 years old. I was walking down the aisle in Toys R Us, and I saw this red box. And on the cover of this box, there was this guy with a sword, and there was this hot chick doing magic, and there was an elf with a bow and a dwarf, and it just captured my imagination, and I had to have that. So I found my mom, somehow I convinced her to buy it for me, and I've been playing ever since. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with what Dungeons & Dragons is, we call it D&D, by the way, here's how it works. You basically take any high fantasy story like Lord of the Rings or the Chronicles of Narnia, or even like something more modern like Harry Potter. You combine it with a board game, and you add dice, a lot of dice. And so that kind of gives you a visual of what it looks like when your friends come together and you actually play this game, and you take your imaginations, and you enter into a dungeon, you find a dragon, and you slay it, and you take its stuff, you take its treasure. Now, you have a lot of fun in the process, but what I'm here to tell you is that as the president of a software company, the skills I've learned playing D&D for the last 20 years have actually been more valuable to me than the things I learned in business school, and it's the truth. And so what I'm going to do is share with you 3 elements of that tonight so it can help you lead in whatever else you're doing. There are 3 basic elements. The first is collaborative storytelling. In Dungeons & Dragons, nobody controls the plot. Instead, you all add to the plot of the story. The people you play with, they all collectively tell the story with you. But what you do control is your character. You get to decide who you are, how you'll act, what your morality is, how you're going to fit in with the group. And the better you understand your character, the better you are to bring out the best in others, and that's where the real fun of Dungeons & Dragons comes in, is you get to bring out the best in others. Now, all of this is done with numbers, and numbers are the second aspect of this whole thing. And if you don't know the numbers, it'll kill you. So let's say that you are this guy and you're trying to hit this eraser creature because you all have to fight erasers in business. I don't care how digital the age gets. So in Dungeons & Dragons, if you want to take out your sword and slay the eraser creature, you bring out these charts and you look up these numbers and you figure out these percentages and you roll a die and then you do lots of math and then you figure out whether you've actually slain this creature or not. And in business, it's the exact same thing. In business, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, if your numbers aren't working, your story isn't succeeding. You have to know what your return on investment is. Are you meeting your quarterly goals? It lets you know whether people are actually contributing to the team and how the team is doing as a whole. So the numbers are very, very important. Now, the third element in all of this is imagination. And imagination is what lets you take the story, combine them with the numbers, and imagination gives it that extra push that makes magic. And magic is what you need. Magic is what takes your everyday mundane job and lets you know that you are more than your job. You're more than a graphic designer, you're more than a programmer, you're more than the office manager, you're even more than the president of a company. And it lets you know that collectively you can accomplish anything. And so my role as a president is to teach others how to take the storytelling, how to take the numbers, and how to take the imagination and enable people to do magic. That's how you go on an adventure. You take these people and you take yourselves and you come together and you become more than that. You become adventurers, you become heroines, you become kings and queens. You own, you go into dangerous places. It's what, as a leader, you do. You come in and you say, yes, there are dragons. And together, we can slay them. And of course, the benefit of slaying the dragon is that you get the loot, and you get to share it with everyone who helped you take you on your adventure. I want to take a moment to thank my very lovely wife, who is responsible for the slides. You can follow my adventures online. My personal blog is at salvatore.me. You can find me at work at ellislab.com, and you can find me at Twitter at Knight777. Enjoy the rest of your evening and slay your dragons.